Okay, so this month I bought a Onewheel, and I gotta say, I'm addicted. So what it is, it's an electric skateboard, and instead of 4 wheels around the board, you've got one kind of fat go-kart tire in the center. And that rubber beast is really good for going over rough terrain and bumps and cracks along the road. So you really feel like, because that wheel has so much clearance, you feel like you're carving the street like butter. And when it works, it feels like you're riding a cloud. When I got my Onewheel, I had a lot of problems out of the box. It automatically started ghosting me, meaning that I would see the board ride off by itself and I'm not on it. It just won't stop. Yeah. And it really brought up the fact that the scariest thing about the Onewheel is that you have to trust machines. See, you're not balancing on the board. That's done by a microchip that's making 14,000 calculations a second, trying to keep you afloat. And your job is just to trust that the board has your back.
Okay, we're gonna simply stop now.
So I had something called Simple Stop turned on, which is a beginner feature where if you lean backwards, the motor just disengages automatically. So for my board, that just didn't happen. But when I leaned back and my tail touched the ground, the motor was still on. So sometimes I would get this kind of herky-jerky motion when I stopped, or even scarier is that it would just kick me back up into riding position without notice. So I reached out to Future Motion, and I gotta say, their customer service was absolutely fantastic. They let me send the board back, and they did a full analysis on the microchip and the brain inside the board, and even replaced some of the circuitry for free because it was still under warranty. So I'm excited to get my board back. I love the Onewheel, don't get me wrong. I think it's dangerous, but I think with the right precautions, you can kind of tame the demon. So how to survive on a Onewheel, I think one is wear safety gear, always wear a helmet, find stuff that makes you feel cool so you never have to take it off. This is my helmet, boom. 2, respect the board. Don't push past the board's limits nor your own. And 3, learn how to stop. I mean, seriously, abandon ship if you have to. Or get it fixed if your board is kind of malfunctioning like mine. But anyway, I super highly recommend Onewheel, and I can't wait to get riding again when it gets back to me. Oh, and dogs just love the Onewheel. It's like a canine magnet. Now's the time for Michael's movie review, in which I review one of my short films that I filmed for my 30-day challenge. Now, if you didn't see my last vlog, I mentioned that I filmed 30 films in 30 days using a random prompt for each one, and I'm gonna review each film and see what I can learn from my experience. So here's film number 2, System. All right, test 2 with the sound, and I'm gonna try to pull a better focus, and the mic should be at 100% this time, and I'm at arm's length. So let's see what that sounds like. I got this super cool mic for my camera, and I'm gonna test the audio system now. Testing 1, 2, 3, toy car versus blocks. No new mic. This is what it sounds like. Okay, new test, toy car hitting blocks with the new mic attached. Let's hear it. Okay, maybe that mic is a little too good. See, what I really like about this film is that it's the definition of a happy accident. That first shot is actually a sound test. I did get a new mic for my camera, and I wanted to test out the onboard sound. when you plug into it. Test 2 with the sound, and I'm gonna try to pull a better focus, and the mic should be at 100% this time. And for some reason I gravitated to the shot, so I wanted to make a movie around that specific clip. And I'm at arm's length. So let's see what that sounds like. Something else I really enjoyed was using props. I've got this like kind of toy car on my desk that I like to play around with, and these dice right here that I used as the kind of building blocks for the thing that gets knocked over. I just think it's really cool I like desk toys, and I thought it was really cool to get to use them in the movie. Man, you would not believe how many takes it took to get that die spinning shot. I wanted the skull to land or end on the upright position, and I couldn't reverse the shot because then my hands would be in it. But I think it was really worth it. And I found this thing on like a subway train, and I don't know what board game it's from, but it's super cool. Instead of a 1, there's a skull on the die. It's the only number that is a skull. So you know when you roll that, you're dead. Another thing I got to play around with was the use of a sound library. I use Epidemic Sound for all my music and sound effects, and I wanted to see if I can kind of base a movie around sound effects and making it feel more alive. Things that I would have done differently. As much as I loved playing with the sound library, I think this movie kind of relies too much on sound as a gimmick. If you were to mute it, I'm not sure if people would really understand the emotion or the arc or the through line by just looking at the images next to each other. And part of the goal of this whole 30-day challenge exercise was to see if I can create a meaningful arc using images. Now, I'm not saying that there's no place for dialogue and sound, but it's kind of missing the point if you can't really sense the emotion from shot to shot without hearing anything. For example, if you compare the shot where I do the sound test with the mic and the sound test without the mic, there's no visual indicator between the two. I should have had no mic in the first shot and then a mic in the second shot to at least give that visual cue that there's a difference between these two images. Otherwise, they're indiscernible from each other. And that's just me being really nitpicky with it. I'm really proud of what I made, especially since it grew out of a sound test and I built a movie out of a clip that was candid. I mean, that's probably my best acting ever because I wasn't acting. I was actually just in the moment. But that's another part of the exercise as well. I'm looking to push my visual creativity to its absolute limit. But overall, I had tons of fun making System, and I loved that I got to use some of my desk toys. And I think it turned out really, really well. And now I really love the idea of muting a shot and basically rebuilding the soundscape in post now that I have the sound library. I think that is another area of expertise that I'd like more practice in, and it just feels so much fun. It feels like the movie is really coming together. Another aspect of the movie is coming together all in editing, and that feels like magic. All right, that was MFTV vlog number 2. So follow me on Instagram if you want to see the rest of the 30 movies from the 30-day challenge. And this is MF signing off. Until next time.